started with some opening comments from Coach.
To start, I want to thank the Guarantee Rate for sponsoring this bowl. We had a great week. The Yellow Jackets were awesome. Hospitality, everything out here in the Valley. The sun was first class. We had great facilities, great accommodations, and great food. And I mean, a great week. It was awesome. So I want to make sure everybody knows we had an unbelievable week with our team, families, kids, administration, everybody out here. And again, a big thanks to Guarantee Rate for the sponsor for the bowl. We really couldn't get enough going offensively to ever sustain time on the field and defensively. So we fought back and got some stops, fought back, got some stops, got some turnovers, but we really struggled, obviously, to rush the football early and then maintain possession, time of possession on the field in the game. And then, obviously, we had a chance at the end, and we threw an interception. We had a shot, had the ball, had a chance to go down and make it really interesting. And then almost had to stop there, and they hit us on a reverse at the end. It was a good play call on their part. But really proud of the team. I told the team in the locker room that we came out here with a little bit of a reduced roster, and new guys were involved, and we had to kind of find our way. And guys competed, practiced hard for 3 weeks, had a great week of practice out here. So I was proud of them. I hated it for the guys. It was their last game in the locker room that we couldn't finish out with the win. But challenged the young guys, as always, in the locker room after every bowl game or at the end of the season to come back in January and crank it up and get ready to go. As I said, I felt bad for the guys. It was their last game, but I'm excited about the future, and I'm excited about getting started in a few weeks.
We'll go ahead and open it up for questions. We do have a mic runner, so if you could raise your hands. We'll start right here in the front row, aisle.
Jacob Hunter with the Oklahoman. Mike, you mentioned the inability to sustain drives, and you pointed the run game a little bit, but is there something you can pinpoint exactly that kind of led to those struggles?
Without watching, again, I'm on ground level, so it's really hard to tell what's going on. I think it's safe to say now that we didn't establish anything, as I mentioned earlier, and so we were off the field really quick. We got the one big play, but other than that, really in the first half, we never sustained anything. And I would have to watch tape to give you a solid answer on why that took place.
We'll stay here in the front row.
Hey, Mike, Sam Hutchins with the O'Colly. Gave up just a little over 250 rushing yards today, and kind of a rough season overall defending the run. Is there anything you can pinpoint about what you have to do going into the offseason to reverse that trend?
Oh, we got to work hard. We got to make sure we're in the gap, make sure we tackle, and just continue to get better at what we do, just basic stuff. Before this game, the majority of the plays that we gave up, we were in the right spot at times. We missed tackles. I thought we tackled pretty well tonight. They hit us on a couple big runs around the edge on reverses that contributed to, I'm going to guess, close to 80 to 100 yards. But we just got to get better at what we do, play good technique, get off blocks, and make plays.
Staying here on my right on the second row.
Ben Hutchins with the O'Colly. Jason, this one's for you. I think I can see just on your face how much this whole thing means to you. Whether next year you're coming back or not, can you describe what your time at Oklahoma State has meant to you so far?
Like I kind of explained earlier with the media before the game, Oklahoma State has meant everything for me. Just to be able to be right in the backyard of, at home. My family is able to come to every game. Even my long-distance family is able to, come to games, and I'm grateful, I'm blessed, I'm thankful just to have the coaches that I have and have the teammates that I have, and obviously I haven't decided whether I would come back or declare, but obviously I'm going to take some time. But I was kind of just focused on this season. But if this is, I'm so grateful to have been a part of, the Cowboy family, and I'll forever be a Cowboy, and this is forever going to be my home.
It's pretty easy to tell how important it is to him, right? Huh?
What does Jason mean to you?
Well, Jason and I grew up in the same area, right? He's from right down the street from me. I tease him all the time about being on Post Road. We grew up in the same neighborhood, and he was a guy that most of the people that recruit the Midwest part of the country missed on. We knew right away we wanted him. We knew what we had with him. We were thrilled. Nobody else, not as many people should have recruited him. We got him. We got a steal. And these guys, okay, all of them, for me, guys that compete and fight, like our team did tonight, we had our backs against the wall from almost the end of the first quarter all the way up until the end. We scored and made it a 7-point game. And then we still had our back against the wall, and we got the ball back again. We just turned it over. So that means a lot to us as a coaching staff and me, guys that'll fight. We want tough guys that'll fight. And so I'm proud of both of them.
We have a question over here on the far left. We'll get the mic to you here in just a second.
Colton Bartholomew from the Wisconsin State Journal. Brendan, you obviously got going in the second half. What was Wisconsin doing in the first half that made it tough to get open or get kind of going the way you did?
They were just, dropping back in some zones, and the field was a little bit slick, but that's no excuse. I just think our execution, it got better in the second half, first half, whether it's missed blocks or, missed assignments or whatever. So I think, we just didn't execute as well as we wanted to in that first half.
Question over here on the far right, second row.
Scott Wright with the Oklahoman. Mike, how would you assess Derek Mason's first year as your defensive coordinator, and what do you want to see from him going into year two?
Well, I think he did a good job in the situation we were in. This is one of those games like we've had 3 or 4 times this year where they're on the field too much. And so you look at total number of plays, you might look at yards. You mentioned rush yards, but what I have to do is say, hypothetically, offensively, if we would have stayed on the field more, maybe a normal transition of a game, wouldn't have quite been like that. So those are things that I evaluate. I like how he has relationships with his players, defensive guys. He's a loyal staff guy, and he works hard. He's got a good attitude. And I've gone through some coordinators over the years, and it takes them a little while to get going. It takes them a little bit of time to adjust. So we'll work hard on that in the off season.
The question here in the back on the right-hand side.
For Coach Gundy, because of the injuries you had down the stretch and then guys you were missing tonight, is it difficult to differentiate between what was just bad luck this season and areas where you guys really do need to improve?
Well, there's areas we need to improve. I don't think it's any question. We need to do a better job of running the football. We have established the runs. We struggled to run the football this year. We have to be able to rush the football to allow us to throw the football, first off. And then when we rush the football better in practice during the seasons, it'll force our defense to be a better run defense. And I know that sounds a little simple, but really it's that simple. Wisconsin is a good front seven. They're good. We knew that. As soon as we turned the tape on, when we got the bowl announcement, we knew how good they were up front. And they've been that way for a long time. They've had a tradition of being really good on both sides of the ball up front. It's no mystery. They got big guys, right? They're average about 6'5", 6'6", 320 up front. That's a big line for what we're used to competing against. So in most years when we compete against teams like that, we use our skill on the perimeter to make up for it, our speed and skill. And we're a little short there in this game. But for the most part, our guys competed, and we as we move forward, some of the young guys that got a lot of work in the last month because of other guys that weren't playing will benefit us next year. That's the good news.
Front row here on the left.
Yep, Mike, without watching the tape, what did you think of Garrett's performance, and kind of how do you evaluate the quarterback position heading into next season?
Oh, I know he competed. Again, without watching tape, I mean, there's times he missed some throws. It's difficult for me to see what's going on down there with coverages and such. I'm going to put him in the category of the other guys. I know he competed. I know he fought. But he did. I could tell there's times he did miss throws. He's young, so he did get a lot of work this year, though. That work will help him in the offseason as we develop and continue to develop quarterbacks in the spring.
A question on the right here, second row.
Yeah, Coach, when you look back on the season, whether it's next week or in a few months, how are you going to feel about a 7-6 season?
Feel about what?
Feel about a 7-6 season?
Well, we always want to win every game we play. We want to compete. As I said earlier, and as I told the team before the game when we came to the hotel, the competitive nature that they showed over the last month to fight. This group had some unfortunate things happen to them. It is what it is. We had some situations where young guys had to play way more than they needed to early in their career based on guys not being available. And so all those things we take into account. But for me, if we have fight and guys compete and they practice hard and they handle themselves right and they're doing the right thing, then we'll continue to get better. There's more parity in college football now than there ever has been. You probably noticed this. Just some of the bowl games we scanned I watched over the last week or so. Look how many teams were 7-5 and 6-6 going against each other more than ever. There's more parity now based on NIL and based on portal. This is like the NFL now. So we have to get really good at our concepts. There'll be players coming in and out now for the years to come based on this is the new trend of college football. So for me and our staff, we have to take all those things into consideration and make decisions based on what's best for the future as we move forward with kind of this new era of college football. And as we're going through these changes, we need to try to do a good job of being out front to give our players the best chance to play better when we start again next September.
Front row right.
Mike and Jason both. Trey Rucker was a guy who made a big impact, especially that first half. What did you see from him tonight, and what do you expect from him moving forward?
Go ahead.
Trey's a great player. I think that we all knew that. It's just, some things happened where we didn't have him for, most part of the year, but we had him this game. And I think that this is good for him to just be in the game, get some experience this year. And as you can tell, he can play ball. And hopefully he builds on that and adds to our defense.
We have our last question right up here, front left.
Yeah, it was good to get Ruck back. And he'll be with us. Ruck's actually got 2 years left. So it's good to get him back. He likes to compete. He loses temper a little bit. We've got to get him calmed down at times. We've got to get him back into our culture. But he wants to fight and compete, and looking forward to watching him in the spring.